For number 13, it says find the asymptotes and sketch the hyperbola. They also have a blank for vertices, so we're obviously going to fill that in. It says that it's a hyperbola, so at least there's no guessing there. We would be able to tell that because it has a minus in the middle. Hyperbolas, though, don't normally look like this. They usually have two fractions here, and they say equals to 1. So we need to divide each piece by 9 so that the right side will say equals 1. So I'm going to simplify that and write it over here. So it'll be x squared over 9 minus y squared over 1. Now I know that it reduces out and you wouldn't normally put over 1, but being a hyperbola and we want it to look like a fraction, we need to know what this number is. So I do write the 1 there. Equals to 1. So I can tell the fact that there's no parentheses means that the center of it is at 0, 0. So I'm going to make a dot at 0, 0, center at 0, 0. And the vertices that we're going to need from this are going to come from, and you always will look at the, for the hyperbolas, you look at the letter in the front. The letter in the front is x. So we're going to take this number 9 and we're going to square root it. And since that letter above it was x, we are going to move horizontally left and right 3 from the center. So 1, 2, 3, there's one vertice, back 1, 2, 3, there's the other vertice. So my vertices, I have those right now, are at 3, 0 and at negative 3, 0. The asymptotes come from the equation. The asymptotes, you need to remember, are kind of like the slope. It's you would take your y number over your x number to get the slope of the equation. So we're going to write an equation that's going to be y equals. The y number in this equation is the square root of 1, which is 1. So the y number is 1 and the x number is 3. So we're going to say 1 over 3 for my slope of my asymptote. So it's going to be 1 over 3x. And my other asymptote is going to be at negative 1 over 3x. So we're going to plot those. And I'd use a note card to make a nice straight line. But I'm going to go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3. And I will make my asymptote from there. This graph has two asymptotes, so I just graphed the positive 1 over 3 asymptote there. And now we're going to graph the one that's negative 1/3. So we're going to go down 1 and over 1, 2, 3 and make our dot. And then I'm going to connect that for my asymptote through the center. It goes through the center of the hyperbola, not necessarily always going through the origin of the graph. It all depends on where the center is, and then you count the slope from the center of the hyperbola. To draw in the curves, we use these asymptotes as guides, and we draw in our, sort of looks like two parabolas, and they just won't touch the asymptotes, but they will get very close to them. And, you know, just something like that. Don't make them really tiny, but make them just like a U shape, close to the asymptotes there. And if they asked for the foci, we would, since this is minus in the formula, we would add these two numbers, the 9 and the 1, and get 10 and square root that. And we would move along with the vertices that many. But they did not ask for that here, so I'm not going to do that on this problem.